Have you ever wondered how something as simple as your shower routine could decide how long you live? It sounds hard to believe, right? But the truth is, most of us, especially after 60, spend so much time worrying about medications, appointments, and what not to eat. But we forget about the most obvious thing, how we take care of our body. And not in some abstract way. I mean literally, physically, how we clean it. Now, if you think I'm talking about basic hygiene, trust me, I'm not here to tell you to just shower daily. I'm talking about 5 very specific body parts that most people ignore. And neglecting them doesn't just cause odor or discomfort. It can quietly trigger infections, skin breakdown, inflammation, even weaken your immune system. Especially as we age, when our skin becomes thinner, our circulation slows down, and our immune response gets more fragile. These small hygiene mistakes can lead to serious consequences. Let me start with this. Back when I was still working in hospice care as a part-time companion, I saw this too often. Seniors in their 70s and 80s, sharp, proud, independent, taken down by infections that started in places they didn't even think twice about cleaning. That's why in today's video, I'm breaking down 2 of the 5 critical body parts that every senior, every person over 60 needs to clean thoroughly every single day. This isn't about looking good. This is about elderly health, about protecting your strength, your energy, and yes, your independence. So let's dive into the first one. Let's talk about the hands. These are your most active tools, your first line of defense against disease, and yet they're often the most neglected when it comes to proper hygiene. Think for a moment, how many things you touch in a day? Your phone, doorknobs, your wallet, a grocery cart, elevator buttons, and now think about how many times you touch your face, your mouth, your nose, your eyes. Research shows it's at least 16 times an hour. That's 16 chances for bacteria and viruses to find a way into your body. And after 60, your immune system doesn't bounce back like it used to. That means one simple mistake, like forgetting to wash properly. Our guy, very well read, but for years he just did a quick rinse of his hands before dinner and thought that was enough. Then one winter he caught 3 colds back to back and the flu. He was puzzled because he hardly left the house. But after his daughter got on him to start washing his hands more thoroughly, like really scrubbing with soap for 20 full seconds, under the nails, around the wrists, he noticed something remarkable. Fewer infections, fewer allergy flares, more energy. He even started sleeping better. It was like his immune system finally got a break. So hear me now. Don't underestimate the power of hand washing. It's not about being neat. It's about elderly wisdom. It's about staying ahead of the game. And it's one of the simplest longevity habits you can adopt starting today. Now let's talk about another part that's even more neglected. Your feet. Your feet carry your entire body, every day. They are the foundation of your mobility, your stability, and yet, they often get nothing more than a passing rinse during a shower. After 60, that's a dangerous habit. Why? Because your circulation naturally slows down. The skin on your feet becomes thinner, drier, more prone to cracking, and those cracks? They're perfect entry points for bacteria and fungi. Combine that with lower immune response, and now you've got infections, ulcers, even nerve damage. All starting from dirty, uncared for feet. I remember George, a 77-year-old retired mechanic, who spent decades standing in garages, lifting parts, fixing engines. Strong man. But after retirement, he started feeling sharp pain in his feet. At first, he thought it was just age. Then he noticed his toenails getting thick, his heels cracking open, and small cuts that refused to heal. His doctor told him what nobody ever had. George, you've got to wash and inspect your feet daily. Scrub them, dry them, especially between your toes. It was a game changer. Within weeks, the infections cleared. His skin healed. He even said his balance improved because pain wasn't throwing him off anymore. And let me tell you, when your feet hurt, your world shrinks. You walk less, you engage less, you feel older quicker. But when your feet feel good, you feel younger. So here's what you need to do. Every night or during your shower, take a soft brush or cloth. Use warm water and soap and gently scrub your feet, including the soles and between your toes. Then dry them carefully. Don't rush, don't skip it, and don't assume a little water running down your legs is enough. It's not. For seniors, keeping your feet clean can literally mean the difference between independence and a wheelchair, between freedom and fragility. Before we move on, I just want to say this. If you're finding this helpful and you care about senior health, if you're someone who believes in learning from real experiences, from life lessons from the elderly, Then take a moment right now, subscribe to this channel, Elderly Reflections. Turn on the bell. That's how we keep bringing you content that isn't fluff, but real, motivational, and practical inspiration for seniors. Because it's never too late to improve your life, and these simple changes, like how you wash your hands or feet, are proof. You know, I used to think a quick splash of water in the morning was enough, maybe a bit of soap before bed. That's what I did for years. But things changed when I started noticing more skin irritation, watery eyes, even sinus issues. At first I thought it was just allergies, but then I realized I wasn't really washing my face. I was barely acknowledging it. Then I remembered Susan. She's a retired librarian, 69 when we met, always had this gentle glow about her, kind, organized, sharp. But one day she confided in me that she'd been having trouble with her eyes. Constant itching, tears running down, even some red patches near her nose. She tried eye drops, ointments, nothing worked. Then a dermatologist asked her about her facial hygiene. Turned out Susan was just rinsing her face, not really cleaning it, no soap, no gentle rub, especially not around the sensitive areas like her eyelids or nostrils. So she changed her routine, started using warm water, a mild cleanser, and gently cleaned around her nose, her eyes, her mouth, every morning and night. The result? Within a few weeks, her irritation was gone. Her sinuses were clearer, her sleep improved, and her skin looked healthier. Not because of some cream, but because she removed the gunk that was clogging her pores and feeding bacteria. Most people don't realize that your eyelashes, your eyelids, the corners of your nose, these are tiny magnets for dirt, oil, allergens, and if you're touching your face during the day, which we all do, you're just rubbing germs deeper into the most sensitive entry points in your body. So here's what I do now. Each evening before bed, I take a warm cloth, a gentle soap, something made for senior skin, fragrance-free, and I clean around my eyes, my nose, under the chin, behind the ears. I don't scrub, I don't rush, I just give my face the respect it deserves, because it's not about vanity. It's about senior health, clean pores, clear sinuses, fewer colds, fewer eye infections. It's one of those elderly wisdom tips nobody tells you, but it makes all the difference. Now let's talk about something people often avoid out of embarrassment. Your underarms. I know it's not the most glamorous topic, but trust me, it matters more than you think. Your armpits are home to sweat glands, and those glands aren't the problem. The problem is what sweat does when it mixes with bacteria. That's what causes odor, irritation, and in more serious cases, infections. See, sweat itself doesn't smell, it's odorless. But the bacteria living on your skin, when it feeds on sweat, that's where the smell comes from. And if you're just masking it with deodorant but not cleaning the area properly, you're actually tramping that bacteria against your skin. Let me tell you about David. He's a 75-year-old retired truck driver I met at a community center last year. Great guy, big laugh. But he used to have this issue. His underarms would get irritated. Red, itchy, sometimes painful. He thought it was the deodorant, so he tried different brands. Nothing worked. Then his doctor asked him a simple question. Do you clean your underarms before you apply deodorant? And David just shrugged. Said he usually just put it on after a quick rinse in the shower. That's when it hit him. He wasn't really washing, he was just rinsing. So he changed his habit, started using warm water and mild soap, making sure to clean under each arm thoroughly. Every morning, only then would he apply deodorant. The result? No more irritation, no more painful bumps, no more inflammation. His skin healed, and he felt more confident. Because you know what? Nobody wants to talk about it, but we all notice when it's a problem. And as you get older, your skin heals slower. Your sweat glands may become more clogged, and you're more prone to infections like abscesses or hidradenitis. It's uncomfortable, it's avoidable, and it all comes back to this one habit. Cleaning with intention, not just habit. And here's something I see far too often. People think they're too old to change. They think, I've done it this way for decades. I'm not changing now. But that mindset, it's dangerous. The truth is, we're never too old to upgrade our care. These small changes, a few extra seconds in the shower, a soft cloth, a little more awareness, these aren't cosmetic. These are the tools of longevity. These are how we protect ourselves when our bodies no longer fight as hard as they used to. So here's your takeaway. Wash your face like you're protecting your vision. Wash your underarms like you're preventing inflammation, not just odor, because that's exactly what you're doing. And if you've ever wondered how some people stay sharp, mobile, and glowing, even into their 80s, I promise you it's not just luck, it's attention to detail. It's daily habits. Done right. All right, let's wrap this up together. We have gone through 4 body parts so far: your hands, feet, face, and underarms. And if you're still watching, then I know you're the kind of person who's not just aging. You're learning, growing, and paying attention. That's rare. That's powerful. That's the kind of mindset that keeps you healthy after 60, after 70, even into your 80s and beyond. Because when we talk about longevity, it's not just about avoiding disease or counting years. It's about protecting the dignity of everyday life. And that's why this final body part is so important. It's small, often hidden, but it carries more bacteria than most people realize. I'm talking about your belly button. Yep, the navel, that little hollow we all have, and most of us have ignored for decades. But what you might not know is this: scientists have discovered that the average belly button hosts over 60 different types of bacteria. Some of them harmless, some of them not. Now I want to ask you something. When was the last time you intentionally cleaned your belly button? Not rinse over it, not let soapy water trickle down in the shower, but actually cleaned it. Don't feel bad if the answer is never. Most people don't, but that's also why it's become one of the dirtiest, most bacterium-filled spots on your body, especially for seniors. Why? Because as we get older, our skin folds deepen, our immune system weakens, and our sweat glands don't work quite the same. Add to that a slower metabolism, more sitting, sometimes excess belly weight, and now you have the perfect conditions for bacteria, yeast, and even mold to build up in that one little spot on your torso. I remember hearing from a nurse I used to volunteer with. She told me about an elderly woman who came in complaining of stomach odor, thought it was maybe her clothing or something she ate, but no, when they checked, it was her belly button, red, irritated, moist. The poor woman had a yeast infection that had gone untreated for weeks, simply because she hadn't realized it was even there. No one had told her she needed to clean that area directly. And that's not her fault. It's what I call an invisible habit. A thing we don't do simply because no one ever taught us to. Now let me tell you about someone I know personally. Frank, 76, lives in Georgia. Strong old soul, former postman, worked his route, rain or shine, for 42 years. He once told me, "I know every porch in this town, but I didn't know my own belly button was a bacteria trap." We laughed about it. But it wasn't a joke. One summer, he kept feeling itchy under his shirt, noticed some dampness, thought it was sweat. Turned out it was a fungal rash starting inside his belly button. Mild, yes, but uncomfortable. Preventable and frankly dangerous if ignored. So what did he do? Started cleaning it with a damp cloth. Just warm water and a little soap. Dried it completely. Even used a dab of baby powder afterward to keep it dry. Problem solved. But more than that, he told me this one change reminded him of something bigger. That we must pay attention. That the little things matter, especially when the body starts slowing down. And that's the whole point of this video. You see, aging isn't about giving up control. It's about reclaiming it in new ways. It's not about chasing youth. It's about protecting function, protecting comfort, and preserving your ability to live on your terms. And hygiene, that's part of it. These 5 body parts, your hands, your feet, your face, your underarms, and yes, your belly button, are simple, overlooked areas, but they tell a bigger story. They remind us that daily care, when done right, becomes the foundation of strength in old age. When you take care of the small, the big things often take care of themselves. Let's be honest, most people won't do this. They'll shrug it off, say, "I've lived this long, I'm fine." But let me say this gently. That mindset, that's exactly how people go from being independent to needing assistance. Not because of one big disease, but because of small, preventable issues that were ignored until they weren't small anymore. So I say this with love. Don't let your pride cost you your peace. Take 5 extra minutes each day. Pay attention to the little corners. Clean with intention, because those few minutes can save you pain, embarrassment, and even hospital visits down the road. And now, before we finish, I want to speak heart to heart with you. If you've been watching this and thinking, "Wow, I didn't know this," or "That makes sense, I've experienced that," then please do one thing for me. First, hit the like button. That's how YouTube knows this content is helpful and sends it to others who need it. Second, if you haven't already, subscribe to Elderly Reflections. This isn't just a channel, it's a space for senior wisdom, practical advice, and powerful emotional stories that inspire and guide you through the aging journey. I'm not here to sell you dreams. I'm here to share what works, what heals, and what brings clarity when life gets harder to navigate. And lastly, I have one question for you, and I really hope you'll answer it in the comments. Where are you watching from today? I mean it. Tell me your city, your country. I've had people from Nebraska, New Zealand, India, Ghana, even Iceland tune in. And it brings me so much joy to know we're building a global family here. One that believes in reflection, growth, and peace at every stage of life. So wherever you are, take this with you. You deserve to feel clean. You deserve to feel cared for. And the best person to start that care is you. Take 5 minutes, wash with love, live with intention, and never forget.